Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are going to look at rules of addition, and particularly we are going to look at two rules. One is commutativity, commutativity, and then the second one is associativity. And so these are the two rules. Now, in commutativity, what we are saying is that if we have, say, if you have integers x, so if x and y are integers, then x plus y is the same as y plus x. And in case of associativity, what we are saying is if x, y, and z or z are integers, then x plus y grouped together in parentheses plus z is the same as x, let me remove that, is the same as x plus y plus z. So these are the two main relations, and we'll try and see combinations of these now in some of the examples. Going further with these, then if we have, let's say, x plus y is equal to 0, then this also means that x is equal to minus y. What we are doing is we are bringing this y to the right hand side of the equal to sign, and if we do that, it the we see a change in sign, so this plus becomes minus, and therefore we have minus y. Likewise, if we could also write y is equal to minus x, and in this case then we move the x to the right hand side, and we kept the y as is, so we moved the x to the right hand side, and so these are the two relations we get. Another relation that we can look at is x is equal to minus of minus x. So this is the same thing, because if we open the brackets here, these two minus will get multiplied and we get a plus x. So therefore this relation is holds. We have x that is equal to minus of, so two minuses would make a plus in this case. Again, if we have more than two minuses, for example, if we have, let's say, if we use x is equal to, if we have minus of minus x, in this case what will happen is these two minuses would make it will make, let's put a minus sign here, these two minuses will make a plus, and then we have still these remaining minus, so what we'll get here is a minus x, and therefore we are saying that minus x would be equal to these. Again, what we are then saying here uh, is as follows. If we have, let me get another color. If we have x and y that are integers, then we could also say this, minus of x plus y is equal to minus x plus minus y. So when we multiply this y and this negative sign with this inside of the parenthesis, we convert these signs to minus. So therefore we get the minus x and we get the minus y there. Similarly, we can look at yet another relation. So let's write that here. If we have Uh, we already looked at this right here, but let's look at it again. If we have a relation where x plus y is equal to z, then we could write it in this way as well. We could say x is equal to z minus y, that is valid, or we could say y is equal to z minus x. So either of these are valid. Now let me clear the screen and we'll look at a few more examples to really understand this well. If we have positive integers, so if we have positive integers, and we looked at this in the previous video where we said any number greater than 0, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., is a positive integer, then we could have, if we have a relation like this, if we have 2 plus 1 plus 3, then this is the same as 2 plus 1 plus 3, and so this is the same as, so we will say this is 3 plus 3 and that is equal to 6. Likewise, if we have a negative, if we have negative integers, and as we saw in the previous video, these would be the numbers that are below 0. So minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, etc. In that case, we could still use the similar concept. We could say minus 2, minus 2 minus minus 1, minus 1 minus 3, if that is the relation, then, or let's put a plus sign here. If we are trying to do this type of addition, then this would be the same as saying minus 2 minus 1 minus 3, because when this minus sign comes out of the bracket or the parenthesis, it stays as minus because we have a plus sign here, and so the output that we get is minus 3 and that equals minus 6. And so this particular relation, we could also write the same in relation as follows. We could say this is also equal to minus 2 minus 1 minus 3, and again that equals minus 6. Same thing up here, we could have written this as 2 plus 1 plus 3 and that is equal to plus 6, as you can see. Apart from this, we can also look at another example where, let's clear the screen and let's look at an example where we have, let's say, uh, sort of different types of numbers together. If we have 1 plus 2 minus 3 plus 4 plus minus 1 minus 2 minus 3. If we have something like this, then if we try and solve this one, here's how we could do it. The first thing is, if there are values inside of the parentheses, we could combine them. We could calculate the additions first. So this becomes 3. 1 plus 2 is 3 minus 3 plus 4 is 7 plus, now here we have minus sign. So minus 1 plus minus 2 becomes minus 3, and then minus 3 plus minus 3 becomes minus 6. And after that, we could bring this out of the parenthesis. So this becomes 3 minus 7 plus, and then again this 3 minus 7 minus 6, right? So we could think of performing this calculation first. And so what we get is minus 4 minus 6, and that's essentially the same outside of the parenthesis, and this becomes minus 10. So in each of these cases, we uh, try to use the same rules of addition that we just saw. Now, in this case, we had numbers. How the way we would do this if we had, if we didn't have numbers, if we just had x, y, and z. So for that, let's look at this example where we have, let's clear the screen. If we have x minus y plus y minus z minus x minus z, if we have something like this, then we could solve this as follows. We could bring these values together. So this way, let's use a different color. So we could bring all the x's together. So that's the x. Then we could bring the y's together, which are these two y's. And finally, we could bring the z's together, so which is going to be that and this one. So we have two of these. And when we go ahead and write this out, the way we can write this is x. So first we could move, or we could bring them out of the parentheses first, and then we can write them. So we could write it as follows: uh, x minus y plus y minus z, and then here this becomes minus x because we are multiplying the plus x with a minus sign, and then this already has a minus sign, so minus multiplied by minus becomes plus. So we have the plus z here. Now we could say that this is by commutativity, commutativity, and then we can move these around. So x, we can bring them together, plus we can bring the y's together, and then we can bring the z's together. And this, we can say this can be done by associativity. And as you can see, if we calculate these values, x minus x, that is equal to 0. And in this series, we are writing a 0 with a line through it. Again, minus y plus y, that again becomes 0. And minus z plus z, that again becomes 0. So that's why we get all the zeros, and so the final answer that we have is also 0. So this is another simple example where we can perform in a type of addition. Now, a very simple example after this is if we have numbers. So let me clear the screen again. If we have if we have positive integers, then if we write relation 1 plus 2, that is the same as 2 plus 1, and that equals 3. Again, if we have negative integers, and if we try and write minus 1 plus 2, or let's say minus 1 minus 2, so that is the same thing as writing minus 2 minus 1, and that is going to be equal to minus 3. And so these are the points we need to remember. Uh, and a final relation that we already have seen in previous example, but just a recap is, let's draw a line. If we have x plus y that is equal to 0, then y is equal to minus x, or x is equal to minus y, and uh, that's because here that's 0, and that's because here we have a 0, and so we are not writing the 0 here. This we could have written this, but we don't write the 0 there. So finally, we again want to do one recap, which is we have x, then this is equal to minus of minus x, that it's the same thing. If we have minus x, then we have minus of minus, minus of minus x. These two add up, these two become plus, and then we have the minus sign. So that was it for this video. I hope in this video you got some intuition about rules for addition. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please do let me know in the comment section below. I hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you.